Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about the selection and gradation in material development. Okay, first, we discuss about selection. Content specification in language-centered syllabus has been one of the most fluctuating and controversial areas of second language pedagogy. In making decisions about the content in developing materials, a variety of perspectives on the triple principle of selection, gradation, and sequencing of language should be considered. In developing materials, we have to consider what to be included from the total field of the subject through the selection of certain features of the language and the intentional or unintentional exclusion. In language-centered syllabus, the selection of content depends on syllabus designer priorities, experiences, and beliefs about the nature of language learning. Therefore, in a language-centered syllabus, the content and what of language teaching is determined in advance. Materials developer spotlight the presence, measurably state objectives to be written prior to instruction which specify the content of the teaching based on the general question of what linguistic element do learners need to master. Next. The first, we discuss about vocabulary selection. So according to Wickens, to ensure that the vocabulary content is the most useful and relevant one to learners' need, different criteria have been used as follows. The first, frequency. The second, range. The third, availability. The fourth, familiarity. And the fifth, coverage. Next selection is grammar selection. Richards believed that grammatical syllabus were developed from different principles based on intuitive criteria of simplicity or centrality and learnability. So what is simplicity principle? Structures that are simple and more central to the basic structure of the language should be selected rather than the complex and peripheral structures and the introductory levels. So how about the learnability? Highlight the significance of considering the order in which grammatical items are acquired in second language learning. Next, we discuss about gradation. So, Richard states that gradation is concerned with the grouping and sequencing of teaching items in a syllabus. Gradation and grading are terms used to refer to the ordering the language for teaching purposes. Concerning gradation in language-centered syllabus, Richard proposed four approaches. The first, linguistic distance. The second, intrinsic difficulty. The third, communicative need. And the fourth, frequency. In addition, Richard said that in gradation we are concerned with the grouping and sequencing of teaching items in a syllabus. This means the set of items and their order of teaching should be specified. In fact, we can consider both a system and structure for material since the material is language made up of system of sounds, words, phrases, and meaning which can be fit into structures and arranged in various types of sequences. Now we focus on sequencing. So Carter and Noonan define sequences as how areas of knowledge and particular skills and abilities are organized within a syllabus or within teaching materials so that they represent a path of progression and development. So two types of sequences can be considered. The first is the sequences of individual items within each system, and the second is the sequences of combination of these items into the various structures. Thus, the less number of possible sequences belong to phonetic items, grammar and vocabulary, and also meaning. Now, how about grading and sequencing? So Noonan believes grading content, which is totally in the form of pedagogic tasks, is complex and relies on various factors. So the first, the degree to which the language event is embedded in the context which facilitates comprehension. The second, the degree to which the language event makes cognitive demands on the learner. The third, the degree to which the background knowledge of the language user can be utilized to assist in comprehension. The fourth, the amount of assistance provided to the language learner. And the fourth, the processing difficulty of the language. And the last is the degree of stress experiences by the learner in taking part in a language event. And now we discuss about the interaction of the three factors of learner, task, and text in determining task difficulty. So he suggests the following factors to be considered in grading objectives. The first is learner factors, including confidence, motivation, prior learning experience, and etc. And then the second, task factors, namely relevance, complexity, amount of context provided prior to task, and processability of language of the task, and so on. And the third is text factors, including size and density of the text, presentational format of the text, and contextual clues, and also content of the text. Okay, so thank you. That's all, and the last I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.